Hello everyone, my name is Devlina Sarkar and I'm an assistant professor at MIT Media Lab and I direct a group called Nano Cybernetic Biotrick Research Group. So recently I was talking to a pediatric neuro-oncologist. She works with brain cancer, specifically glioblastoma in children. She said that in her hospital, she has currently 12 children. All these children are below the age of 10, and all of them are going to die in next 1 year. So this is the state of art of a disease called glioblastoma. This disease currently have no cure. Once a person is diagnosed with this disease, the median lifetime of that person is 12 to 15 months. And this is the state of the art even after an aggressive standard of cure that includes surgery, chemotherapy, radiation, and immunotherapy. Many decades of work in trying to improve on these technologies have led to no positive results. So given this situation of things, first of all, I would want you to, first of all, imagine yourself for 1 second and think of the mind state of those parents of each of those children. And also, I would want to pose a question to you. So given the state of these things, how many of you think that we should continue to do incremental work and try to improve of these technologies which have not worked for many decades? Or should we look and think of fundamentally new approach, and if fundamentally new approach is required? If you think fundamentally new approach is required, please show your yes cards. And if you think we will continue to do the traditional approach, say no. So I see most of you say yes. And that is why in our group, and I will discuss in a few moments, we are taking new paradigms of research in the medical field to solve diseases which currently have no cure. And glioblastoma is not just one of them. There is one standard treatment video I'm showing here. Does anyone else in the audience recognize what this is? Yeah, Parkinson's disease, and the treatment is deep brain stimulation. So what you are seeing here in the left, a person's hand is trembling. So he has an electrode implanted, and deep brain stimulation, electrical pulses are being produced in his brain. And you can see on the right-hand side that when the stimulation is applied, the trembling stops. But this does not cure the disease. This actually only ameliorates the symptom. As soon as you stop the stimulation, the trembling begins again. And the disease progresses over time and becomes worse and spreads to the whole brain. So right now, in fact, there is no cure for most of the brain diseases. We are talking about 1 billion people around the world who suffer from many diseases, from Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, depression. Currently, there is no cure at all. And the state-of-the-art techniques only ameliorate the symptoms without providing any cure. And the reason for that is a gap in the technology. Right now, the brain stimulation is done with electrodes, which is a centimeter-scale probe. You need to dig a hole in the skull, put in that electrode in. So these have very low spatial resolution. Moreover, they're highly invasive. When you put in such an electrode, it causes massive destruction of brain tissue around that implanted site. So you cannot put multiple of the electrodes in that brain. You can put 1 or 2. But the pathological sites, there are just not 1 or 2 sites. The pathological sites related to brain diseases are localized to multiple brain regions distributed in the brain. However, currently there is no technology which can tackle that. So what you really need are free-floating, wireless, subcellular-sized devices which can be distributed in the brain but localized to those specific disease sites. So to overcome these challenges of existing technologies, you are actually reinventing electronics. You are developing electronics atom sub. This is one example of a quantum mechanical transistor we had built, which overcomes the fundamental limitation of power in existing technologies and also allows beyond silicon scalability. So they can be scaled to many, like very, very small, tiny devices. So we are basically harnessing this expertise of ours in developing novel nanoelectronics to create wireless subcellular-sized nanoelectronic devices, devices which can even go inside a living cell, devices which can live in the extracellular matrix in between the cells, but without damaging them. So this can create a new era of wireless subcellular-sized brain implants, which can coexist and co-live with the brain cells without damaging them. Now you must be thinking, is it really possible to stimulate the brain with these extremely small nanoelectronic devices? Because right now the state of the art is to put this centimeter scale probe for brain stimulation that is wired, so you can put in a lot of electricity to stimulate the brain. But these are very, very small, tiny nanoscale devices. Can they even harness enough power to do that? In fact, we have shown that it is possible in our animal models. We have shown that our devices can provide brain stimulation with unprecedented spatiotemporal precision, much better than what the state of the art can do. Moreover, you can do multi-site stimulation for the first time. So you can target disease region in the brain specifically. So you can go beyond symptomatic benefits and can actually cure this kind of diseases. And we actually received the highest recognition from National Institute of Health for this technology. And the reviewers mentioned that this could create a new era where you could actually treat neurodegenerative diseases going beyond symptomatic benefits. We are applying these diseases to diseases of aging like Alzheimer's. So I started the talk with a story about glioblastoma, which is untreatable. And all of you agreed with me that we need a fundamentally new technique to cure these diseases, because all the existing techniques have failed. And we have actually created a novel bioelectronic therapy for brain cancer, and for that matter, cancers which are resistant to drugs and radiation. And our results have shown that we can kill cancer cells for which drugs and radiation have failed. So this can be a new paradigm in cancer treatment, apart from drugs, surgery, immunotherapy, and radiation. And just to summarize, so we are the Nanocybernetic Biotrack Research Group. In our group, we develop novel nanoelectronic devices and fuse them with biology to create novel treatments for diseases of aging, neurodegenerative diseases, and cancers for which present technologies have failed to cure them. And we believe that these technologies can also create a new era for implantable devices, even for the healthy individuals, because they're so tiny and non-invasive compared to existing technologies. So it's just like wearables for all. We might go into the era that we have implantables even for healthy individuals. And we will get into an era where we can transcend humans beyond diseases and their biological limitations. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Devlina.